Hello, Sharpies. I'm Tom Cunningham.
I'm Joy Stevens.
And this is Steel Sharpens Steel special homecoming edition. And because it's special and because it's homecoming and it's homecoming season, we thought we'd give you 3 times the HBCU magic. And bringing us our additional wand of magic is our very special guest, Tiffanie Nakia Towns. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello.
Joy, this is a person that you are bringing to the show. So why don't you let us know how you and Tiffanie came to know each other?
Absolutely. I apologize in advance if you see me.
If you see her glitching,
hotel.
Because she is on hotel Wi-Fi. So go ahead, Joy.
Okay. So Tiffanie and I are sorority sisters. And Tiffany's line sister, Dara, is one of my really good friends, like my vacation buddy. We've been all over the world together, etc. And the last time Dara came to Atlanta, she was like, "Oh, we got
to introduce you to my girlfriend, Tiffanie."
Yeah. So now she's my friend. And so that went from brunch to hanging out to now quiet as kept. We're trying to talk Tiffany into letting us hang out at her house for New Year's and tear up her house and eat up all her food. We're going to see how that goes. But at the same time, Dara sent me a video. She's like, "Would you check this out?" And it's one of the videos I think we're going to show tonight. And I was like, first off, this is disgusting. This is ridiculous. And then I heard a name discussed in the video. And I was like, "Well, Tiffany," now I'm like, wait, hold up. What?
She's putting Vaseline on and taking out pretend earrings for those of you who aren't familiar with the fighting tactics of African American women. So I love how we're parlaying this freeze frame into a substitute commentary for me. So we do have the video that we can play for some context. And so you can give me a little heads up, Tiffanie. I have a recording of the vile and atrocious things that this person has said. And then I also have a video of you at a city council meeting. So why don't you set us up for how these clips should play?
So the first clip is, I'll call him a gentleman. I live in Chattahoochee Hills, which is a little municipality, South Fulton County, literally bordered by city of South Fulton. My city council representative is a gentleman named Richie Schmidt. And I have been holding him accountable since I moved here a year ago for his lack of representation of me as one of his constituents. And he has now decided to take my critique into running for mayor. And so the first clip is him, I think, talking. I don't know if you're to the city manager or is it the body cam? It's the video. There's 2. He's talking to a city manager and then he's talking to an officer. And in both of these clips, my name comes up in ways that are not favorable, to say the least. Yes,
to say the least.
Yes.
So what I have is the audio with overlaid with a picture of his smiling face. Now, bear in mind, this robust human that appears in the photograph is not at all like the Skeletor adjacent possible alcoholic day drinker that was standing up in front of the body cam, allegedly. Yeah. So I'm going to play the audio for us and we'll go from here.
So I've got somebody at our little city paper threatening to post lies about me. So what do we do about that since we pay for that? If she stands up to me again like the she is, I will physically tear her feet off for her because I'm that type of guy. People want to keep talking about me. They have no idea what's coming down the pike for them. Tell her if she ever acts as if she has some authority over me again, I will ruin her in a public setting with her little up paper. Somebody needs to get that dog under control.
That's my city council rep.
I'm breathing, I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. Yes. Joy is getting ready to jump through the screen and go tag his house in Chattahoochee Commons. So that is what stirred up some stuff. Now, here's everything with me is context. And I notice, because I'm a video editor, I notice when shenanigans are pulled, right? So what we have next is your clip at the council meeting. And I want everybody to pay close attention to what is happening in the video at the end of the clip and how it is not syncing with the audio. So let's take a look at this footage.
Next, Tiffanie Towns.
In the words of Councilman Schmidt,
Ms. Towns, please state your name and address for the.
I'm getting ready to. That be Tiffanie Towns. And here I am running that mouth again. I live at 346 Lowbrook Court in the Estates at Cedar Grove. I hesitated to give my address tonight because, frankly, the depth of the vitriol and violent rhetoric being directed my way is unsettling. And though I am being cautious and prudent, I am definitely not going to be intimidated by the likes of Richie Smith. Unlike many people in this town, I'm not afraid of you, sir. But I need to say this. With the failure of Chief DeGue to redirect Sergeant Wood and taking a call from his in-law and failing to question what Schmidt meant by "I'm going to make her famous" in reference to me on a body cam video, and with no one from City Hall reaching out to tell me that Schmidt was fixated on me in not one, but two recordings that had nothing to do with me. And now Councilman Lightsey dismissing violent language and potential threats as locker room bluster from his official city email. I need the city of Chattahoochee Hills to know that you are liable and you are responsible for the actions that may result from this violent rhetoric because you failed, as Richie says, to get that dog under control. Should any harm come to me, my property, or my neighborhood from the Keep It Rural contingent, me and or my family will bankrupt this city to hold you all accountable. The city charter, section 1.039b, the city shall adopt ethics ordinances and regulations governing the conduct of municipal elected officials, appointed officials, and employees, establishing procedures for ethics complaints and setting forth penalties for violations. In nearly 20 years, no ethic laws are on the books in Chattahoochee Hills, and given his poor judgment, Lightsey shouldn't lead this work. He shouldn't. I never called Richie names. I didn't act belligerently at his town hall, but because I dared show my dissatisfaction with his job performance. That's accountability. Bringing receipts. Schmidt thinks it's okay to threaten me and call me derogatory names to city staff. After listening at how he spoke about all the citizens of Chat Hills who can go F themselves if we don't vote for him, I've had enough of the Schmidt show. I've had enough. I don't respect Richie. I don't want him associated with Chattahoochee Hills government in any way. He is at best an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment. And at worst, you're dangerous. And I don't know you, so I can't tell. Either way, he is not a mayor. He's not a mayor. He is a menace. He is a menace. And I am looking forward to turning the page on him after the November 4th election. He can ride off into the sunset on the beaches of Florida and leave the rest of us in peace. I can't believe you all have put up with this for 15 years. And that people are coming and recounting their experiences. You need to get this in order. The civility code is a start. Ethic ordinances are the end, not Scott Lightsey leading that work.
Next.
Did you see all of those hand motions?
Yes.
And did you hear the 0.5 seconds of a whoop?
Yes.
It is very clear to me because we heard every word of what you had to say. And we heard every word of the woman who preceded you. But when that applause to your comment started, somebody said, let's press the mute button on that. So it doesn't.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So
No.
it's just interesting. And I just absolutely love the recitation of the specific city ordinance about the thing and how you didn't just stop with the dude who was a complete ass. You also took to task the people who were supposed to be reining in this wild beast who weren't doing it. And it's really interesting in the days and times we're living. Literally, in a day when Donald Trump has called for ABC and NBC to lose their licenses.
Yeah.
That people who are taking advantage of the opportunity to engage civically in their government are being treated in such a way. And the fact that this person was not immediately removed from the council on the basis of just the statement that we have a recording of is absolutely incredible to me. It is incredible to me. And just for context, I'm gonna play this last clip because this is him kind of shambling around on the body cam. So I wanted everybody to see exactly what we're talking about. That's the wrong thing. Sorry.
Right. I was like, wait a minute. I know.
No, that was our Actively Black fashion show, which we can talk about because I have my Actively Black FAMU shirt. Actively Black has a brand new collection. Joy is wearing her full-on Spelman ensemble of Actively Black. It is HBCU season. So let's get back to you, Tiffanie. What can you tell us about what has happened in the aftermath of your amazing presentation?
Really, it's status quo. Richie has doubled down. You mentioned the national context with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And he is, everybody thinks then that they are able to get away with anything, right? Yeah. And so he was asked, some people called for his resignation that night, and he, at the end of the night, his comments were, I'm absolutely not resigning and I'm not dropping out of the mayoral race. We had a town hall, a candidate forum on Sunday. He was there participating as belligerent and angry as ever. And supposedly there has been a referral made to the Fulton County DA's office, but there's no status around an investigation around the threats that he made to me and another woman, the woman that runs she organizes our city newsletter. There's no paper, there's no public, or newspaper in Chattahoochee Hills, but he was threatening her. And at one point, in that audio, he talks about people keep putting nooses around their necks here. And so just a lot of really racialized,
a lot of clannish talk.
Yeah. And ripping people's feet off. And
yes, well, we heard that.
Right, exactly.
So you mentioned Keep It Rural. Tell us what the Keep It Rural movement is and provide some context, if you would, about how ridiculous an idea of Keep It Rural is in South Fulton.
Absolutely. It's this city is relatively new. It was formed in 2007 out of an unincorporated Fulton County. The premise is the zoning laws here, and the zoning laws protect the trees. It's a 70% of land cannot be disturbed to protect the tree line, which is great. Fine. We're all for green preservation, all the things. There is a luxury development here in Chattahoochee Hills called Serenbe that's known for this biophilic concept, like living amongst the land. But they took this notion and turned it into this slogan, Keep It Rural. And so if you drive through Chattahoochee Hills, there are people who have these red, white, and blue Keep It Rural signs in their yards, which, unfortunately, we all know in this day and age, like the red hats, the red, white, and blue immediately signal to me, this is not about rural. It's about something else. And it's who they think they can keep out of South Fulton. I am bordered by city of South Fulton, literally is across the street from my subdivision, the line. I'm literally on the city of Chattahoochee Hills line. And we have a community Facebook page, Chattahoochee Hills Facebook page. And literally somebody was saying, we need to build a wall around Chattahoochee Hills to keep South Fulton and South Atlanta out. But you're in South Fulton. And it's not rural because we're in the metropolitan Atlanta statistical area. I can drive 20 minutes and be at the busiest airport in the world.
Right.
So these people are cosplaying around rural, and I think it's a dog whistle for what they really mean.
Can we also just point out that they're colonizing or Columbusing the Keep It Real?
Yes.
You can't even come up with your own slogans.
Oh, amen. Amen. Yeah, one of the first things I started going to city council meetings earlier this year, and when I saw the Keep It Rural signs, Joy, my comment was, what about Keep It Neighborly? How about that?
Yeah.
Keep It Neighborly. And so that's become a different tagline, but you're right. It was the pickup from the Keep It Real that they're adopting with this Keep It Rural.
I also want to point out that every time every single time that Alabasters decide that they want to separate themselves from everything good and happy, that they end up miserable, sad, destitute, and bordering on cannibalistic. Right. And so every time they create one of these little, like even recently, they're like, are we going to have our own city only for white people? Do that. Then they got mad because nobody wanted to come hang out with them. No, because y'all smell like pee and unwashed legs. Like, why would I want to come out there? Right. And exactly as Shan like to say, when keeping it rural goes wrong.
Amen.
They say they want all of this. They say that they are good enough, and they say that they are exceptional, and then turn around and be below mediocre.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. And it's class and race, right? Because the people who are moving into Chattahoochee Hills now, we're coming in at a different, property value base. They love to talk about their multiple generations of their family have been here. And literally, if you look up the legacy of Chat Hills, like in 1938, the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan lived in Chattahoochee Hills. The Cochrane Mill Park, if you're familiar with Metro Atlanta, that Cochrane Mill Park was the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. That was his homestead. And so when these people talk about multiple generations, Noonan County, Noonan, Georgia, Coweta County, it's known for some of the most heinous lynching stories like that you have ever heard happened here. And so I think about these generations that they're talking about. And to your point, Joy, it's like, who did you get that land from? Who was working this land? And why do you, and why are you so entitled now to be like the people who are moving in now? I had to buy in at this level. And so they're upset that the people who are moving here now that don't look like them have more resources.
They're upset because they keep moving the goalposts and we keep scoring.
Right.
Because they know that if the tables were turned, they could not score at a goalpost this far away.
No, that's right.
Even the phrase grandfathered in, we've talked about this before, where, they wanted to have all of these, we call them poll taxes, where you had, the law was if you couldn't read or weren't past a certain literacy test, you couldn't vote unless your grandfather could vote. If your grandfather could vote, then you would, hence the phrase grandfathered in.
Oh, wow.
It also meant that you were just as illiterate as the people you were trying to stop, if not more, And so once again, their blood is telling on them. And even the words that he uses, it never occurs to me to say something like they keep putting nooses around their own necks. That's not in my lexicon, but the fact that it is just speaks to the legacy of the people that want to try and control that town. Right.
That's it.
I mean, I might say there's no washcloths on their calves, but I would never say nooses around their necks.
Right. We might call them unseasoned and mayonnaise.
Right.
Or, using mayonnaise as salsa or
raisins in a potato salad.
I mean, there are any number of ways to describe the delightful nature of their commentary. I do have that video clip now. So let's show that one little clip. This is a very short one, but I just wanted to give some context of what unseasoned, parboiled chicken breast on barely cooked white rice looks like.
I'm gonna make that famous for long. She don't know it. Her little lawsuit. She running around running that mouth.
That's my representative. The bleeped out part was, I'm gonna make that bitch Tiffanie Towns famous. that's what he said. He's talking about me running my mouth.
And her pretty little mouth.
At this point, while my camera's working, I want to remind everybody what I have told you all before. Black women specifically, I said Black women are about 95% smoke. I'm gonna bump that to 97 when you're dealing with a member of our sorority. You don't want to smoke, son. You don't know what you're coming up against, and you are not ready. I don't care if I prepared you myself. You're still not ready, because I'm not going to tell you everything.
Right.
And trying to put us in our place only results in you being put out.
The smoke monster in Lost doesn't want the smoke of Black women.
Exactly.
No.
Smoke monster in Lost is like, you got it. Where the hat check?
The winds in the Bermuda Triangle don't want this smoke.
No, they're like, oh, wait.
My bad.
Down
My bad, queen. Go on by.
Right.
And the thing is, and here's the ultimate kicker for me is they always want to talk about somebody being qualified. They always want to talk about somebody that didn't earn it. And then this dude is over here not doing his job. And I see this all the time in my professional life where you have someone that isn't doing their job.
Oh.
Because nobody else will.
There you
Am I
go.
frozen again? Am I back?
Yes, you were frozen.
You're back.
Okay. But when it takes a Black woman to hold somebody accountable and they want to call her all kind of names. The whole phrasing of angry Black woman was never about being angry and more about being Black. And how dare you tell me that I'm not perfect and that I have flaws and that I need to do better. Who are you, lowly person, to tell me that? And so even when they say, I'm not mad, I'm just looking at you like I'm disappointed in you because you're pathetic. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. I'm sad.
Yeah,
And
this
like,
gentleman, he generally doesn't show up for work. He doesn't show up for work. I mean, I just pulled the receipts. He's missed 15 council meetings in the last 5 years. It's like, I didn't do that. You did that.
Right.
I just
You
pulled
told
the
on yourself.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Folks, when you're sitting in a country where the sitting president has 34 felony convictions, his vice president called him Hitler 7 years before he became his running mate, where the Speaker of the House is an inveterate liar who's trying to claim that Democratic efforts to support the healthcare of their constituents is tantamount to granting $1.4 trillion in healthcare for undocumented, which is an absolute lie. When that same Speaker of the House cancels 3 weeks of House sessions in the middle of a shutdown when his House colleagues are being paid and U.S. service persons are at risk of not getting paid. And you say there's nothing to do because all the Democrats need to do is to do X, Y, and Z. No, bro, because what is happening this time is that what you're not hearing, except from some military people there was a military wife who confronted Mike Johnson in a very stern way. More Americans are like, we fixing to do this No Kings protest. And we know our reps are trying to have our back. So we're going to deal with it. We're sorry if you're a government employee who's furloughed right now. My cousin is furloughed right now. But her husband ain't, and they are working it right out. And everybody would like for there to be a budget, but not at the caprice of these clowns. And especially not these folks who, this guy literally campaigned for a Nobel Prize for bringing peace to Gaza. It barely lasted 24 hours. And it was a rehashed Biden plan. Just so we're clear, somebody tried to say that Andrea Mitchell was delusional for saying that. No, it was literally the plan that Biden proposed that Trump told Bibi Netanyahu to 86 so that Biden-Harris wouldn't have a win.
Exactly.
And now, a year later, after Gaza has been rent to rubble, when everybody has been pushed out, now what did the Palestinians have a choice? Ain't nothing left. And so now they have quote unquote peace, except that it didn't even last 24 hours. It's crazy.
Yep. This is the land that we're living in. And this is, a microcosm. Chattahoochee Hills is just a microcosm of it. And we're hopeful that this election result will go ahead and send Richie to the House or to Florida, wherever he's going to go. And his uncle, by the way, is running to backfill his seat. It's literally, you can't make.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, his uncle is running to backfill his seat. One of my neighbors, a Black woman, is running against him. So we hope that we do not have the national result in Chattahoochee Hills. We are needing to push back against a lot of this foolishness. And to your point, Tom, we're being gaslit, and we just have to be able to say and tell the truth and shame the devil, as my grandma used to say.
Well, while we have you on the show, we've been talking about Chattahoochee. Chattahoochee, is that what it is?
Chattahoochee, like the river. Chattahoochee.
Right. Well, we go from Chattahoochee to Trumpacoochee. And this is the cover of the forthcoming issue of Time magazine. Now, let's just say my governor, Gavin Newsom, had a great deal of fun by pixelating the wattly neckline of the president, implying that it was somehow not safe for work. And what we heard from the man himself, first of all, he's looking surprisingly human-hued in this photo.
Yeah.
Let's start off with that. There is no apparent orange cast. I don't know if that's a Photoshop, but the things that he doesn't like is that the up angle is pretty horrible because you can see his neck coochie. And then at the top of his head, the cotton candy that makes up that comb over is completely translucent. So you can see through it. And even though he's not scowling, he does look resolute. The headline is "My Triumph." It is, Sam. That's why I said it. It's called "My Triumph." This photo looks like it needs a pad with wings. I'm just saying that. It looks like something that needs to be covered up with a modesty suit. A hijab would not be inappropriate.
It would not. It would not. You know, granny panties also work in instances like this.
Perfectly helpful.
You know, actually, when I first saw it, I did see the waddle and the fact that his collar looks like it is what's the word I'm looking for? Body.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it's
you know what I'm saying?
I do.
It looks like a body shaper, like a girdle around his neck, but also his whole head looks like a balloon.
Like
that's just trying to escape.
It's tucked into the little piece and popping out, right? When you said waddle, all I could think was waddle baby, waddle baby, waddle baby, waddle, waddle baby, waddle baby, waddle baby. Get in there.
We are silly.
Not intended to be after dark, but it is a homecoming episode, and so I have to say that as a homecoming episode, this is about par for the course. We do want to thank Tiffanie for joining us. She has stepped. Oh, she's back. Okay.
I mean, she's still there. She is. Yeah.
Yeah, she's back. What would you say to the folks in South Fulton / Chattahoochee about the November election, which is not even 3 weeks away at this point?
Well, it is on. The November election is on. Advanced voting started on Tuesday, October 14th. And I would say to people that you have to vote for the kind of community you want to live in the same way that we failed to vote last November for the kind of country we want to live in. That's what we're getting right now. People have to turn out, and we feel very hopeful. Richie Schmidt, the sad part is that in 2021, he won his city council seat with 60 votes, 60 votes. 60. But the bad news for him this year is that my community, my subdivision and the neighboring subdivision, which is 98% Black, has 170 registered voters. So we don't expect for Uncle David to win this city council seat, and we don't expect for Richie Schmidt to be mayor. So people need to vote, register, and get involved.
Also notice that I think in his mind, he may be drawing things along racial lines. I saw a whole lot of alabaster clapping in that room.
Absolutely.
Right. He is sorely mistaken about thinking he's going to just carry along melanin lines. That's not going to happen. Because if you suck at your job, you suck at your job, period.
He's an embarrassment. He cannot be the face of this city. You also.
What did you say? You're not a mayor.
You're a menace.
And here's the thing that surprises. Well, I don't know if it surprises me. Very little about men, my gender, surprises me when it comes to misogyny. But the fact that you could use that sort of invective about a woman and expect any woman to look at you like, I would not choose the bear. I'd rather be with him.
Right.
No.
There is not any woman who should feel safe in a room with him. There should not be any woman who feels safe with him driving behind her on the road.
No.
And the fact that he is not was not summarily removed for making terroristic threats against, if not a constituent, a neighbor.
Yeah.
Right.
At the very least, your neighbors.
Absolutely.
You're not technically a constituent, but if you're voting in the election, then you're even a constituent. So that should be enough. And again, this can't be that big a town. And if it's a 60 vote margin, and this is something that I wanted to make clear, there's a whole lot of counties that are technically red that have, 100 people in it. But it takes up a lot of space because nobody lives in Montana and nobody wants to live in Idaho. So you have all of these spaces, and it looks like the map is like overwhelmingly red just because those counties, which have very few people, but have a lot of space. But when you resize the map and center it on population centers, there's a lot more clear pattern of how things work. And here's the thing, many, many, many more seats every election cycle, be it a midterm cycle or a mainstream cycle. Many, many, many more seats, especially local seats, are decided by fewer than 100 votes. And so there is no more, it doesn't matter anyway, we know who's, that is not a truism. I did a graphic after the 2016 election where I said, there are more people in this section of a Beyonce concert that elected the representative for this county in Mississippi. Every Beyonce concert has enough swing votes to turn an election. And if you paid $2,000 for your Beyonce ticket, then you can take the 15 or 20 or 30 minutes off on voting day to go do that. Because guess what? You spent a lot more money than that 15-minute break to go see Beyonce or Ariana Grande or whoever it is. So it is more important than ever before for us to actually use our franchise. My mom is a big proponent of this. She tells my kids, you don't know what people gave up in order for you to have this right. And so you need to do it. And my kids vote. So that's a good thing. And everybody, to your point, Tiffany, all your neighbors who comprise more than double, almost triple the margin of victory, everybody, it is critical. It is critical. We have a whole lot of governorships coming up. In California, the big money is on Prop 50, which is the redistricting effort. And here, newsflash, the GOP stopped spending money to beat Prop 50 because they know it's going to pass. They pulled the funding. The day after the announcement happened, I was getting robocalls. I got 2 pieces of mail. This is why you should vote on no. I was like, bruh, we're in the wrong one. I got a show. We talk about it every week. So you and they have turned out. It turns out that Californians are like, yeah, no, we get it. We understand. Because guess what? We're about to lose our healthcare too. So
California is where all the hippies went when that movement ended. They all out there.
And guess what? The farmers whose crops are left fallow, these Nebraskans whose beef is dying because they don't have anybody to service, all of these people who are facing the consequences of their vote with that guy are not, and now their healthcare premiums may as much as triple. When Marjorie Taylor Greene says, my son's healthcare is going to double, and that's why I can't XYZ, that tells you something. And Joy and I have said it before, what is on those Epstein files must be so diabolical and evil because now Grijalva has been certified. Before it was just obvious that she was the winner. Now she has actually been certified. And the Secretary of State is like, no, she's the winner. And Mike Johnson's excuses are worse.
They're gossamer thin.
I mean, not even. Thin is that there's any heft to it at all.
Right.
They're ephemeral. They are less substantive in his breath.
Right.
So this is where we are. And I am happy to see these No Kings protests. The way they are trying to spin and rebrand these of American citizens peacefully gathering just as they did on the birthday to let them know that we're not, he is even more of a tyrant than he was on his birthday.
Mm.
Happy birthday, America. Joy, we
Yes.
had something else about things that are happening this week, because a whole lot has happened. Gaza peace come and gone, and we have the spinning that Mike Johnson has been doing, the Grijalva stuff that we've already talked about, and the threat of incursions, a different type of incursion, onto HBCU campuses with the folks from Blexit. And the Blexit group is particularly difficult for me to stomach, because I used to work when I was doing advocacy with a couple of different organizations. There was an outfit similarly styled, but not as youthful facing. And it was Project 21. I don't know if anybody remembers Project 21. Project 21 was a beast of the National Center for Public Policy Research. And basically, you had folks like, I think his name was Murdoch, who was DeRoy Murdoch. He was one of their folks. They had a couple of different, I think even Vernon Jones might have been propped up in there at one point. But the point was, this is like before Candace aligned herself with Turning Point. Project 21 was trying to do this same sort of thing. You pay these folks a couple of dollars. They go out on these different publicity appearances and try to present themselves as in some way representing the will of Black voters. The huge block of conservative GOP under-recognized Black voters that never seem to manifest actually during election time. And so Project 21 did its thing. It didn't really do much of anything, and then it faded away. And then Turning Point came around with Charlie Kirk. And of course, because it was designed for them and not for us, it took Candace being involved, and Candace getting married to a white man, and Candace inheriting a little bit of the cover that Turning Point USA offered her. And then now that Kirk is no longer in the picture, Candace is a bit at odds with the widow, Erica, and she decided that she was going to launch this Blexit. They brought back Blexit to HBCU campuses. So I think they targeted 10 campuses, and my campus is one of them. And so they are supposed to be coming to Florida A&M tomorrow on a day when the statue of our greatest president, and certainly in my lifetime, but arguably the greatest president that the institution had ever seen, Dr. Frederick S. Humphreys, his statue is being unveiled tomorrow. We have our homecoming convocation tomorrow. We have our step show tomorrow. We have a whole lot of things going on. It's homecoming. It's going to be the busiest day. The official busy start of out-of-town homecoming people is tomorrow. And they are bringing a crew to my campus. They went to North Carolina A&T, I believe. They've been hippity-hopping all over. They went to Tennessee State, and before Blexit even came, there was a clown who tried to start making some stuff up at Tennessee State. They literally ran him off the yard, which was actually hilarious. So, Joy, in your opinion, what do you think the likelihood of these Blexit clowns, and it's a whole clown show, having real honest intent at these HBCU homecomings versus trying to be in a position to incite something that might inspire students to behave in a less than cordial way?
You know, I used to watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I still do. I love it. And one of my favorite all time, like totally want to hang out with this person, drag queens, is Bob the drag queen. Bob is very masculine, doesn't change his voice, but can turn out an outfit, you know, got legs for days, everything. Bob is gorgeous when he wants to be, etc. There is a better chance of Bob giving natural birth than there is for these people to have an honest conversation on one of these campuses. I know you're trying to figure out where I was going. I was channeling my Michael Harriet with that. But but as Mark said, they gonna FA and FO. And here's the thing. They know. Now I will say this because I have to be 100% honest about this. There was this, I go to Spelman, went to Spelman. There was a Spelman group where the day after the election, one of our Spelman sisters was crowing her lungs out, Trump 2024, blah, blah, blah. I've been listening to y'all talk about that heifer for blah so long, and now Trump is coming to save us, and XYZ had picked because we kicked her out. They kicked her out of her own alumni association because it wasn't official. It was a Facebook group, and you can get the hell on, right? Especially the day after when people were still very raw about that. But it also speaks to the personality of the type, in my observation and experience, a general personality of, you can't tell me what to do. I'm going to rub it in your face. I revel in your misery type of folks that come from that MAGA side. So Blexit is more of that. And they may find pockets of people that support them, even at homecoming, even on campus. Matter of fact, one of my friends said that her line sister just denounced yesterday, 3 months after their 25-year anniversary, right? So, and yeah, you get the eye roll. Some people are desperate. Some people are lost and they look for something to belong to. They look for, they try to run back to Jesus, and they think that by denouncing things and by ridiculing and belittling other people, that Jesus is going to be impressed with their hypocrisy and welcome them home. And none of that's true. But they may find a couple of people. However, there are thousands of people at homecoming. And them 7 that you're looking for that might agree with you, they're probably not at homecoming because don't nobody fuck with them like that no more.
And very few of the students.
Right.
Yeah. Very, very few of current students. And again, there are some. But what the Blexit folks don't understand is that Chad and Jeremy have to go back to class on Monday. And Chad and Jeremy and Becky Sue, melanated or not, have to sit in the classroom with a whole bunch of people who will have seen the network footage of them trying to disrupt kids having fun with their parents. People like, I graduated in 1992. It is 2025, and I'm back because I love my alma mater. I love supporting the institution. I love seeing the people after all these many years. Celebrated my 35th anniversary in the frat last year. Right. And so this is what we do. And I don't appreciate you being up in my face with your foolishness when you don't have a counter argument for what the other thing will have to do. And just like I was talking about the Greens and Jill Stein, who don't have anything to offer and won't even pretend that they have a plan to initiate some sort of green revolution. They don't have anything. Jill Stein is nowhere. She is doing nothing. Kamala Harris is more face forward than Jill Stein right now. And Kamala ain't trying to hear it from you. Just FYI.
I have no data for this. I'm just talking out the side of my neck. I want people to understand that I'm just making this up as I go along, and this has no credibility. Now, that being said, sometimes I feel like Jill Stein just be in it for the money election year. And it's like, I'm gonna raise a couple $100,000, pay off my credit card debt, and then be back up out of here. Because you don't see her, but you only see her from like March of an election year to November 6th. And she's gone again after she's disrupted things. And girl, gone. And have considered running for president myself. I'm gonna run for president because, and my slogan is gonna be Stevens 2028, because why the fuck not? That's gonna be the sign.
If you voted for Green, vote for Steve. Right?
Stevens, because y'all don't know how to act. 2028. Oh, we could be, yo, I can put you at the top of the ticket, bro. You be president, I'll be vice president.
Light skins for the win?
Yes, one light skins, one the twins, 2028. Happy medium. That'll be our slogan.
Well, here's the thing. I just want, Candace, I know you're not watching the show, and which is fine. Yeah. I just want you to know, Candace, there are grown-ups at homecoming too. And
it's mostly grown-ups.
It's more grown-ups because the kids are enjoying what is available for them.
The kids are doing the free stuff, which is the game.
And that's fun. The grown-ups though, and this is what Kirk didn't really show so much, when he got challenged by people who were prepared and actually knew what they were talking about, he didn't post those clips because he lost.
You know what? You might be onto something, Shan. She might be getting paid to just show up and steal votes, snatch a few votes from each side and be out.
I don't know that I feel that is likely to happen, but I don't put anything past her because she and they are trash.
Bring me your baby. I kiss your baby. So yes, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So where we are is at this inflection point. And I have to say, I'm very pleased to see that in the last couple of days, there has been more and more consistent pushback. Most of our viewers are probably aware that Hegseth tried to come out with this very draconian set of agreements that the press would have to sign in order to receive access to the Pentagon. Mm. And every major news outlet except One American News, including Fox and Newsmax, refused to sign. And guess what, Pete? Taxpayer dollars fund your department. They fund the military. And when you are doing things that are counter to what the taxpayers want and what the taxpayers need and what they expect out of their military and their government, you need to be held accountable. And that's what the press is for. It is the First Amendment, the amendment that comes before the Second Amendment,
right,
that you claim to prize.
But I mean, and the reason it's the first is because this country, the founders of this country, recognized what it meant to have a silent or an uninformed populace and a silent news organization, for lack of a better way to put it, or news entity. People need to know what's really going on. People need to know how ostensibly the truth. Now, I do think that the relaxing of journalism integrity over the last 15 to 20 years is nothing new. Yellow journalism goes all the way back to the first printing of paper. The first paper printed had a lie on it. So it's going to be what it be. But those draconian rules that he put together were really around, I want you to refuse to sign this so I can kick you out of here and you can't see what's going on back here. But at some point, rank and file is going to have to break. At some point, the military is going to have to say, this is wrong. We are not going to turn weapons on our own people. This goes specifically against this line in the Constitution. It's going to have to get down to that. And at some point, I don't know if it's going to be Congress or, uprising of individuals, individual mayors and governors across the country. But at some point, this Supreme Court is going to have to be held accountable as well.
Yep.
Because they are suborning lawlessness and fascism. They have one job, uphold the Constitution, and they are failing at that.
Absolutely insane. It's insane. I can't imagine what it will take at this point for somebody, because you got 6 of them, and it's really, you've got Alito and Thomas, which you can never count on. So there's that.
Right.
You had Judge Roberts, who at some point appeared to care about what his legacy would be. And then you've got Coney Barrett and you might as well throw Gorsuch in with Alito and Thomas. Yeah. And then you got Coney Barrett and you got Kavanaugh, who will sometimes do the right thing, but more often than not vote as a bloc. And you got 3 frustrated Democratic appointed women who are just like tearing their hair out in frustration. And that's where we are as a nation. If the judiciary, which used to be a hard wall against the worst instincts of various administrations, is now complicit with the destruction of our constitutional system, then yes, it is absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
And we are prayerful that a year from the special elections in 2025, when we go to the ballot boxes in 2026, that Mike Johnson will be proven wrong and that he will be turned out of office. It does not look like these occupations of these various cities are holding up constitutionally. They're facing a severe number of challenges. And now that it has been literally called out that what he's doing is he's setting the stage to suspend your access to the ballot box, even more people are like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense that he's doing that because you go to Portland, there's a guy in a chicken suit dancing with a tambourine with a drum. And that's what they're calling a protest.
That's one of so when you talked about access to the ballot boxes, I had this conversation with a couple colleagues about a week ago, and they asked me, because they're not Black, and they were asking me, what kind of conversations are happening in your neck of the woods. And I was like, honestly, I've been talking to my people about, what are you ready to? Did I freeze again? No. Okay, I'm back.
You're back.
Yeah. What are you ready to die for? Because there's a very good chance that the same violence that we've seen set upon Congress people, college campuses, et cetera, shows up at a polling place. Don't forget that there was a massacre in Ocoee, Florida, because people were trying to vote. It used to be standard part of obituaries in every paper in every town of Black people killed for trying to encourage other Black people to vote. So when your mom and everybody says this is what we fought for, don't give this up so easily, they're serious. And we may find ourselves once again having to put our lives on the line to preserve democracy. And are we ready to do that? I am not above putting on at least a motorcycle helmet and a thick jacket and see if I can avoid something, just don't be like.
Listen,
that was a great line. Dang.
I don't know how many of you since our last episode have actually gone out to see Another Battle Every Day. I really hope that more people are seeing it. And I'm not advocating necessarily for the type of resistance that Teyana Taylor so ably represented in that film. But it does indicate the lengths to which regular people are prepared to go to push back. And there is the one group, the French 75, but there are other groups that are doing their own private little parts to help. Like
the Lincoln Project.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about in the framework of the movie. So you think because it's Teyana Taylor and it's Leonardo DiCaprio and they're both in the trailer shown with guns and blowing stuff up. Those aren't the only groups that are doing stuff in the resistance in this fictional world. And they even have a fictional new white supremacist group called the Christmas Adventurers. It's called the Christmas Adventurers because they're dreaming of a white Christmas.
Of course.
And that's the theme song in their little underground bunker. They're playing Bing Crosby's White Christmas.
I was wondering, like, are they which version are they playing?
Oh no, it's Bing. And they greet each other by saying Hail Saint Nick.
That's so gross.
It is. It's extra gross. But the movie is very, very good. And so I really do want to encourage people to go see Another Battle Every Day. It is certainly one battle after another. I keep saying it. I keep going Another Battle Every Day. One battle after another is the name of the movie. It is. It really is a very well done movie, and it's, as I said, it is of the moment. It is so present and of the moment. It is really, really worth seeing, and it's actually not doing so poorly, but it's going to be a challenge for it to be successful, just because production costs that's on the line of what you can see doesn't fully account for everything that needs to be done in order to market and distribute a film. So it needs quite a bit of money in order to quote unquote break even, but it is already his most famous or his most well-performing movie. So
and that's saying a lot.
It is. And even MovieWeb, there's an article out now saying One Battle After Another isn't the box office disappointment you've been led to believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was just published 3 hours ago. So Paul Thomas Anderson, please go see it. Please go support it. It is definitely worth seeing. We are knocking on an hour, and I said we would honestly try not to be hitting an hour because it is homecoming. Joy, what else would you like to talk about as we close out this episode?
I want to run it back for the people that weren't here at the beginning, that it is HBCU homecoming weekend. And, you know, we love to support Black businesses. And what I'm currently wearing is the version of Actively Blacks. Damn it. Am I stuck? Okay,
You're okay. Go ahead, continue. You're back.
Yeah. Actively Black, Spelman College, Jaguars. Boom. Look at it. Love it. It's awesome. And I will tell you, this stuff feels nice. I know when we got those cotton tee
before, yeah. But this is
wait, I'm coming back. I was supposed to wear this on Saturday, but I knew it was going to be 100 degrees. So I wore it today through the airport so I could I was running into FAMU people in the airport like, yeah, we representing up in here. Yeah, get you some Actively Black, because this is a nice, I will tell you, this ran me about $200.
Right.
But I mean,
I got the Rattler t-shirt,
mm-hmm.
and since I got the legging or the pants the last time, I got my mm-hmm. Actively Black order with the socks. So what I will say is that I went to my bookstore on the yard. I brought my youngest son, and we went to the bookstore, and they had a section of Black-owned providers of product, wonderful. Which I thought was just amazing and really special. It made me very happy to see that my institution was supporting Black producers of content of products in that way. And I would just have to say, for young people or for people who are watching who have kids that are college age, tell your kids to be kids. We got this. You don't need to encounter those Blexit. If you see a Blexit person, just text and I will get the alert.
Yes. We'll come out in force and run them off the yard.
I got 2 cameras with a tripod and a mic set up. So I'm ready to get in their natural face. And when they see me coming.
You know what? I also think there's another thing that we're missing around specifically what sort of student attends an HBCU. Didn't Correct. I tell you don't want to smoke? You might have tried this stuff with the Black kids up at, Savannah State or, I don't know, LSU or something, but come up.
No.
They might agree with you, but you're not trying to debate with them. You're trying to get a gotcha moment with some young Black excellent person, and this ain't what you want. I have faith. I have faith in my young Black students that they will tell you about yourself in the most eloquent and elevated and exceptional way possible and leave you mad. I fully expect these Blexit folks who are not ready to either tuck tail and run or start trying to call people names.
Well, all I can say is that they've already been through one set of homecoming weekends, and I haven't seen the clips I think they thought they were going to get.
I don't think so.
Because if they thought if they had gotten the clips they were going to get, it would be on the front page of Turning Point USA with these kids either clamoring to join their non-existent Black supporting wing of conservatism, or that it was just, look at how we owned these kids because they didn't know what they were talking about and da-da-da-da-da.
And I'm going to tell you right now, you know how much I love my school. This is final boss level intellectualism over here. You don't want no parts of this.
You really
none at all. This is Stacey Abrams' alma mater. Don't come over here.
Nothing in the AUC, y'all. Actually, go on ahead. Venture into the protected enclave, which is surrounded by. Come on, Cletus. You're gonna walk in. You're gonna limp back. And please don't play in our faces. Thank you, Anthony. Well, play in my face because I am ready. I am absolutely ready. And I guarantee none of you is going to withstand the firestorm. I'm just letting you know right now. When you see me walking up, it's time to fold up.
Oh, Anthony might have a quote of the night. Walk in and get dog walked
out. Come on now. We said it. We are exactly at an hour. Listen, y'all, I have given you an hour of my homecoming. I flew to California to be here at my alma mater to celebrate homecoming. I got Line Brothers who called me right before we got on the show. They're ready to pick me up. So I'm going to let y'all know. Y'all got it. Y'all be here. You be safe. You enjoy. If you are an HBCU alum and you are in homecoming season, please enjoy your homecoming to the fullest. We are going to be voting right after. So go on ahead, make it happen, be the change you want to realize. And if you were in Chattahoochee, then make sure you vote. And if you don't want to see Trump, yes, then you go on ahead and send him a scarf this November 5th to let him, or this November election, to let him know that time is short. And he himself said he doesn't think there's any way he's getting into heaven. And he also said, I don't know if you saw this, Joy, this is honestly my last thing to say. He said that Biden has a better beach body than him. He can't be sitting out in a swimsuit.
I mean, when you get senile, you start telling the truth.
His legs are heavier. His arms are heavier. His belly is heavier. You know, Biden can sit on a beach because he forgets where the beach is, but I can't be on the beach. Bruh.
Well, because they push whales back into the water.
Waddle, baby, waddle, baby, waddle, baby, waddle, waddle, baby, waddle, baby, waddle. Get in there. Yeah, get in there. Yeah.
That's more cardio activity than he had all last year.
Ever. He has less cardio activity lifting a Big Mac to his face. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you each and every week. We thank you so much for joining us. And I will say, I'm Tom Cunningham.
I'm
Frozen. Let it go.
Perfect freeze. Perfect freeze. I am nobody.
And this is Steel Sharp and Steel Homecoming After Dark Edition. Waddle, baby. Waddle.